Hey, everybody, this is Bret Saberhagen, and I am back on base.
Welcome back to another episode of the Jim on Base Show. For today's very special guest, we have on the two-time Cy Young Award winner. He's a three-time All-Star and a 1985 World Series champion. Please welcome the great Bret Saberhagen. Bret, thanks for coming on.
Great to be on. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you on again. And curious, what are you up to today? What's going on in your world?
Well, right now we're gearing up for our main event in Paso Robles, California, Central Coast for our nonprofit SabesWings that helps families going through cancer. And we come in and help alleviate their medical or financial debt that is caused from a cancer diagnosis. So we're really excited about that. The golf is sold out this year, and
Awesome.
still a few spots for dinner on October 5th, but it's at Rava Winery in Paso Robles. Yeah. A lot of good people coming in for that, but a lot of moving parts coming into that event. So we're getting close and looking forward to another successful year.
Yeah, it sounds great. And before we get into that, though, I know you just got back from Europe, right? And I think you got some good golf in over there, maybe.
We did, yes. Our good friend Riker Young, his wife Tina set up his 60th birthday over in
Nice.
Cork, Ireland, and we got a few rounds in. We actually got to experience one day of the weather. We walked in windy, rainy weather, and the other day we had buggies. And of course, it's clear and no wind and sunny out the day that we have the golf cart. So, but yeah, it was good to play golf again. It's been a few years since I've played because of my hip, and
Mhm.
had that replaced about 8 months ago, and feeling much better now and
Nice.
able to actually put my sock and shoe on for the first time in about 2 years. So that's always a bonus.
Nice. So you're going to be giving everyone a run for their money at the upcoming tournament, then, right?
Yeah, well, I have more stuff going on behind the scenes, and I make sure everything is going good out there. And I'll go around and visit some people on the course and hit a few shots periodically, or maybe run a putt in and try to help the team out that I'm visiting. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, won't be sitting down and playing with some people other than just visiting.
One good thing about being able to sit down, I know you're a football guy, right? I think you're a Chiefs fan. So all those years in Kansas City rubbed off on you, I guess.
Yeah, I had season tickets back in the day when I
Oh,
was with the Royals, so it's fun to see them doing well back to back and trying to become the first team ever to go three in a row. So
yeah.
off to a good start. They've had some new additions, and seems like everybody's healthy, and I think that's the key factor is keeping everybody healthy. So they're yeah, football is on the way. The fantasy team took a little beating this
Mm.
first week, but we'll hopefully we'll bounce back.
Well, I was at the Niner game last night, the season opener. So that was a fun one. Do you hit any games? Because I know you're in the SoCal area, right? Is that where you see the
No,
team?
we're Central Coast. So we actually
Oh,
were
okay.
was in Candace and I were in San Francisco yesterday,
Oh,
and we I was speaking to a financial group there, and we actually had some lunch in that, and we
nice.
drove close by the stadium, not right. We were off the 101 and knew that it was going on, and listened to the game on the way home. Good to see Aaron Rodgers back.
Mhm.
He's only 4 plays last year, and it's been a long time since he's been back in. But it just shows you how good that San Francisco team is taking care of business against what I think is a decent Jets team this year
Yeah.
with him healthy.
Yeah, that was a great game last night for me, for my side of things.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, we root for the 49ers. Got a lot of friends that are 49ers fans as well. I just
Okay.
like to watch good football. So, and last night was one of those games where it was good football, one-sided pretty much after the first quarter in that, but it was good to see them do well without even Christian on the field.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it was good to watch.
And one last thing I wanted to catch up on is how's the grandpa life? I know you got some grandkids, right? So you're probably enjoying that.
Yeah, no, we got a chance to see all four of them this last weekend. We drove down to LA and got a chance to be with all four of them. Yeah, the newborn Wesley, she'll be one, I believe, December 6th.
Hmm.
But yeah, they're all growing up very quickly, and we got a chance to spend time with all four of them. So they're all doing really good.
Nice.
The oldest just started kindergarten, Sawyer, so she's really excited about that. And yeah, they're growing leaps and bounds right before my eyes.
Yeah, I guess it goes fast, right?
It really does. It's amazing. Yes. Each time we see them, they seem to have a bigger vocabulary and grown a couple inches.
Well, I have some questions now about the golf tournament. It's the fourth annual, and for SabesWings, and it's in Paso Robles, California, like you had said. So I was wondering, what makes that course special? Is that a place that you just loved playing, or how did that all kind of come about?
Well, it's a public course. We don't have a whole lot of private courses in and around Paso Robles, down in San Luis Obispo, which is about 40 minutes, 45 minutes down the road. They've got a really nice course down there. Ted Lilly, I didn't realize, is
Hmm.
a local boy in around here, and he's a member down there. But we just seem to have it at a venue that's close by.
Mm.
It's the greens at Hunter Ranch are always in great shape, which that's the key for me. As long as the greens are consistent each and every time you go out there and play, that's what I really like about a golf course. And it's got a good layout. It's not condo golf by any means. So I think everybody comes in and enjoys it.
Mm.
And has a good time. We have plenty of food, plenty of drinks, and then we actually have, while the significant others are not playing golf, if they are one of the title sponsors or a board member of that, we actually do a cooking class for them and a mixology class with our celebrity chef, Chef Roshni Granani, who is on our board as well. So it's kind of a fun day for everybody. So a lot of these out of town guests that come in actually have something to do and not just sit in the hotel while whoever's playing golf is out there enjoying the golf.
Yeah. Well, it makes me wonder, being in that area, as you know, it's a big wine area too. So, are you a big wine drinker? What's kind of your drink of choice when you dabble with that?
Well, yeah, we enjoy our wine, and we are very fortunate to have a lot of great wineries in and around the Paso Robles area, and a lot of our good friends are winemakers and owners. But it's great to be around them, and they also give back to SabesWings, our nonprofit. They help out on a yearly basis. Really good community and really good support from all of our friends that are winemakers in and around the area. So if you haven't come out to Paso to enjoy some of these wines, it's a must. Yeah, it's 357, I believe, in
Oh, wow.
my last count. But yeah, really enjoy getting out, tasting some new stuff, and the support that we get from each and every one of them.
Well, I'm in Danville area, so I don't know. Have you ever heard of like Livermore area? We got some good wineries, so I got to go to Paso to try it out.
You need to get down here. Yes, absolutely.
I have a good memory of you probably like over 10 years ago now. You're at the American Century Championship in Tahoe. And I remember you were sitting on your golf cart and you're smoking a cigar while you're golfing. So, are you a big cigar guy or?
I do enjoy a cigar from time to time. I don't smoke them on a regular basis, but around the house periodically. And well, not in the house, but out on the back deck or out on the front porch. That seems to be a time that I'll enjoy a cigar. Once in a while on the golf course, I found out on the golf course when you're playing, you're doing more of the lighting and relighting of the cigar. It seems to go out quite a bit. I haven't gotten that down yet on how to keep it lit throughout the whole entire cigar. So if anybody's out there and can teach me that one, that would be greatly appreciated. Maybe it's because the cigar is either too wet or not wet enough. So yeah, I haven't figured that one out completely.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one too. Well, you've probably participated in a lot of charity golf tournaments through the years. So, did that kind of inspire you to start your own, or how'd that all kind of get going for you?
Yeah, I have played in a ton, and I've cut back quite a bit because our nonprofit really is a 365 day a year
Mm.
in work progress stuff that we've been doing, and it takes many hours throughout the whole entire week. We don't seem to have very many off days. Every once in a while, we're able to say, okay, we're out of pocket today. But Sabes Wings was actually created and co-founded with myself and my wife Candace. Kandace, three-time breast cancer survivor. She's gone through 4 different treatments, but the last time that we were actually, she was going through her treatments, it didn't work. So we had to do a fourth round after the third diagnosis. And we saw what we had to pay out of pocket, which was it was around $22,000 a month.
Wow.
So we saw that, and we were curious on how other people were able to afford their medical bills. So the one thing that you find with cancer is you save for a lot of things in life. You save for a car, you save for education, you save for a house, you save for multiple things. You never save for cancer. So when that sneaks in and around and into your family and that, and if you don't have the means to take care of it, and a lot of time the insurance companies are not taking care of everything, it gets very costly. So we saw firsthand, we did a deep dive into that. Kandace came up with the idea of starting SabesWings to help those families that are going through a cancer diagnosis and that can't afford their bill. So we pay directly to the bill. We
Wow.
don't give anybody a check. So if you're out there and you're in dire need of trying to figure out, am I going to skip this treatment because I don't have enough money? Do I need to mortgage the house? Do I need to, how am I going to keep the roof over the head? Are we going to pay a household bill? Or are we going to pay for the medical treatment? Please look us up at SabesWings.org. Also, we have just started a 1985 campaign, which 1985 goes back to my playing days. 1985 was a great year for me on the baseball field, the first Cy Young World Series champion, World Series MVP. So it was a beautiful year for me personally and the team. The fans remember it. So that's how the 1985 was created. And it basically, it's if you go to our website and you pledge $19.85 a month, it equates after a year's time to helping one of our recipients keep their lights on in their house. So the residual income is much needed now for SabesWings, and that is one of the ways that you can help. It's not a lot if you kind of think about things in the big picture. For less than $20 a month, you can help out people that are really in dire need and are looking for help. So please check out our 1985 campaign, and if you can donate that $19.85, it would be greatly appreciated, and all of our cancer warriors would appreciate it as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll put some links out. Going to put some videos out so we can get some eyes on it and get and spread the
Awesome.
word. Yeah. And speaking of the upcoming tournament too, I ran into you and your wife's mutual buddy, Mike Golick, up in Tahoe, and I had him on the show, and he was a lot of fun to catch up with. I name dropped you.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. No, Mike is a dear friend of both of ours, and I wish he would have played a little bit better. It's been a while since he's been back out there in the tournament, but it was great to see his name up on the board and him enjoying it. Tahoe is a special place, and people that come out there can't believe how well the tournament is run. American Century does an amazing job. Corbell does a great job. NBC puts together a star-studded cast each and every year. They treat the fans very well. All the celebrities that come out there really go above and beyond to say hello to the fans. 17 is a crazy hole, the little par three on the water with boats lined up three deep. It's just a fabulous event, and I'm glad Mike was able to enjoy it this year.
Yeah, is Mike going to be at your tournament or?
No, it's unfortunately the October hurts a lot of the football guys, and especially when a few of them are doing broadcasting stuff. So he is not. We got him out one year, and now that we moved to a Saturday, we might have a better chance for the dinner and that. But he would still have to be somewhere by Sunday morning doing some broadcasting of his. So yeah, unfortunately no.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, you do have some other football guys, as you know, and Mark Rippon's one of them. And it's ironic because he won the first American Century Championship, and he's going to be at Paso Robles next month.
Yeah, Mark has been a near and dear friend from the first year that I went to the American Century. That's where we met. And then we've crossed paths in numerous charity events around the country and supporting friends and stuff. So, yes, Mark, last year we do a Lifetime Achievement Award recipient each and every year. And Mark was our recipient last year for his work and dedication to giving back and his loss of his son at 3 years old to cancer. So he an amazing human being, Super Bowl MVP back with the Washington Redskins. And I saw a stat that was kind of crazy. He's the first person that I believe, well, the last person I should say, to have started 3 or 5 years in a row for the Washington Redskins. They've had so many quarterbacks that have come through that organization since he's left, and none of them have gone out and started 3 or 5 years. I think it was 5 years, but I could be wrong. It could be three. So his name was up on ESPN the other day, and it was good to see him and his record of how many years of starting at quarterback for the Skins.
Yeah, great name there, great guy, as you said. And I was curious about one baseball player that's going to be there, Chili Davis, who he had a season on the Royals, but you were on the Red Sox at that time. And I know you're in the baseball world, so just curious, how do you guys know each other?
Uh, Chili and I, we became friends a long time ago, and he probably remembers how we got introduced. But we've actually known each other, and it might be the wine industry because you talk about a
Mm,
wine lover. Chili and his wife Ann are connoisseurs. They spend a good portion of their time in the summer getting out of Arizona, going to Napa and staying in Napa. So Chili's been a dear friend of mine, and we look forward to him. He's been at each and every event, so he's coming back this year to help support what we're doing, and look forward to seeing him very shortly.
nice. And the last person I'll mention that's going to be there, he's been on the show a few times. Always love talking to him. And I think I'll just look for like a really bright colored shirt on the course. The great Jim McMahon.
Mac, unfortunately, won't be back this year, but Mac,
Oh, okay.
yes. Usually, if you look around and the person that's not wearing any shoes,
Yeah.
that would be Mac. He's one of the guys at the American Century. He's one of two that have never missed an American Century event, which is pretty amazing. I know his health is
Mm,
taking some tolls on him swinging a club and getting around the golf course. But yeah, Mac won't be here this year.
gotcha. Well, he will be missed maybe next year. But since we are talking some golf, I'm always curious who got you into golf? When did that happen?
Well, yeah, that was my first year in professional baseball, 1983. I went to instructional ball, and all the guys that were on that team in instructional league were either fishing or playing golf. And I like to fish, and I kind of picked up the game of golf. I wasn't very good for a long period of time, but I seemed to want to be out on the golf course a little bit more than fishing. So I still enjoy fishing, but the golf thing was more of what I really enjoyed doing. Although it was very frustrating for many years, and to try to get to a single digit handicap, it took me a very long time. But that's how I kind of got started. It was just the guys that I was playing baseball with in a professional level enjoyed it and got me going out there.
Nice. Well, I was going to ask how was the swing, but I saw a video you put out the other day. You were kind of teeing off like in a vineyard and you hit it right at the guy. He caught it. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's my good buddy Matt from Lenny Colado, the owner and winemaker there, and we were doing a little tasting at his tasting room, and he said, "Hey, let's go up to the house." We started talking about golf. I've got a little driving range, and you want to talk about little? It's a small little square, but he's got it all set up. You go over the
Nice.
vines, and it's this amount of yards, and then if you hit it at the wash basin there, that's your aiming point, and you can draw it back in, and you can um, you know create different shots and so on and so forth. So we hit a bunch of balls, and probably about with 8 balls left, he said, "Hey, I'm going to go down and shag these balls and pick them up and bring them back, but I'm going to bring my glove down, so hold off, and I want to catch some." And I kind of looked at him as like, "You gonna wear a face mask or something? I don't want to bust up your face by any means." And he goes, "I got this." So he got down there, and sure enough, I hit a couple that were right at him, and he probably caught while he was down there the probably six out of the eight, but Kandace got the one of the first ones that I hit at him, and sure enough, came my way with the catch in that. So it was crazy to watch. And how do we get that video viral? That just
I
doesn't
know.
happen very often,
Because I was going to say, it looks like those half court shots that are always doctored up. This is
right?
legit. There's no
Yeah,
editing on this.
no editing. No,
Yeah, we'll see if we can get it viral. I'll
there
retweet
we
it
go.
on Twitter.
There you go. Perfect.
Well, last one on golf. I feel like pitchers and a lot of like NFL guys, maybe wide receivers, quarterbacks. Do you ever feel like a similar vibe with them? Because it seems like baseball pitchers and NFL guys are always really big into golf.
Oh yeah, then you got some really amazing hockey guys. Don't leave them
Mm,
out because their hand-eye coordination is ridiculous.
that's true.
I've always been very impressed with how they can be tugged on and pulled on and hit and tripped and stick between their legs. And still have the ability to know where the net is, or their teammates to pass it off or shoot, and keep that puck on their stick. So the hand-eye coordination is amazing with hockey guys. I've always been very intrigued with that. And so, yeah, you got three sports that I think that are pretty good. They're again, yeah, Steph Curry, American Century champion last year. What a great comeback!
Yeah.
So there are some basketball guys, but I would probably say more of the football, baseball, and hockey guys that are up there with how well they play in that. But baseball, especially pitchers, you have usually four days between starts, and you have a lot of time on your hands, so you can get out a little bit more than the position players that have to play each and every day.
Well, you mentioning hockey right there made me think of, when it comes to baseball, you want to keep a good swing if you're a hitter. You were a great hitter for being a pitcher, right? I know you had like 10 hits one year, and I think you had two other seasons with 5 hits and then one with four. So you're a pretty good hitter, especially if you're spending a lot of your time in the American League, right?
Yeah, yeah. I took a lot of pride in it, especially when I was younger. That I love playing shortstop and love swinging the
Mm,
bat, and I could do it pretty well up until the time that the Royals drafted me and used me as a pitcher. And then, like you said, being in the American League and not swinging the bat for so many years, and then finally picking it up and facing the best of the best. Anybody out there, please don't Google my batting average. It wasn't all that great, but I appreciate you saying that. I did get a few hits. I did get one RBI in my career. So no home runs out there, though. I gave up a lot of home runs, but I didn't hit any personally. So no, I loved hitting. I took a lot of pride in making sure that I got bunts down and helped the team out that way. But as far as hitting after spending so many years in the American League and picking up a bat again, and that wasn't my primary focus. It was all right. It wasn't anything to write home about.
Well, we mentioned you have two Cy Youngs. You got the World Series MVP. Do you keep your first hit though? Do you have that in the mantle somewhere?
No, I
Or?
I don't know where any of that stuff has come and gone. Yeah, don't have a whole lot that I keep up anymore. I gave some stuff to the kids and sold
Mm.
off a bunch of the memorabilia that I had, and it was collecting dust in boxes, and I was paying for storage, and ended up getting rid of a bunch of stuff other than some of the stuff that the kids wanted to keep.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've seen it yet. The Greg Maddox documentary just came out. I still need to see it, but I saw a really good clip that you've probably heard about. It's him breaking down how he called his own game with Eddie Perez and had like secret signs and stuff like that. Do you relate to that at all? Did you have any secret signs or anything like that through your career?
No, no, really secret signs on a regular basis. But yes, I did call my own game, and I did try to keep the hitters guessing, because it's part of what they try to do is steal signs, and especially when you have a guy on second base trying to look in, so you have to vary your signs on a regular basis. And the way I used to do it with a guy on second base, if there was no outs, it was the first finger that he put down was the pitch that I would want. If there was one out, it would be the second finger that he put down. That would be the pitch.
Mm,
If there were two outs, then it would be the third finger that he put down. So that if a guy was on second base for multiple hitters, and I got an out in between there, it would change up. So if he
mm,
thought he had the pitches, he actually didn't. So that was kind of my thing, and a lot of guys do different ways. And nowadays it's all through communications by touching a thing, and whatever it seems like, whatever the catcher calls, the pitcher says yes. So I don't know how many guys are really calling their own game anymore.
mm,
But I know Mad Dog and myself, we were fortunate to have some amazing catchers. Charlie O'Brien was one of the guys that we shared, who was an amazing catcher, and Charlie was his, so to speak, caddy whenever Greg was on the mound. And what I mean by that, they had Javi Lopez, who was an unbelievable stick and swung the bat very well, where Charlie didn't swing the bat very well. But whenever Maddox was on the mound, Charlie was behind the plate, regardless of what he could do at the plate swinging it. So he's just an amazing signal caller and
mm.
in tune with what you want to do out on the mound. So for all you pitchers out there, you need to focus and figure out how to call your own game and not rely on a coach calling it or the catcher calling it.
Mm. That's great stuff there, and good stuff for the young pitchers, which we do have in the audience. And one last baseball question for you. I'm curious. A lot of people probably ask you, like, who was the toughest hitter you faced? I'm always curious. Is there anybody out there that maybe they didn't have the highest batting average, or maybe they're even a good hitting pitcher that just drove you nuts? Because like being a Giants fan, Kiki Hernandez, he'll be hitting 190, but he hits 3,000 against us. So I'm always curious who that guy was for you.
Well, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that might not have been a big name. But the one big name that really wore me out was Wade Boggs, and in one
Mm.
particular game, he I threw three pitches: fastball, curveball, and changeup. In three different at bats, he had hits off of all three pitches. So it's like I don't have anything else to throw. I don't know how to get you out, but I did in my career get him out 33 times. I think
Wow.
he hit 450 off of me. So part of that career high batting average was due to me. So, and I want to give a little shout out for anybody out there that wants to send him some thoughts and some prayers. He's going through some prostate cancer right now, so we just heard about that yesterday, and hopefully he can come through his diagnosis and beats what he's going through.
Yeah, definitely thoughts and prayers for Wade Boggs. And I wanted to touch on a couple people that we've lost. I know you're friends with. I think got the Lifetime Achievement Award from you a few years ago, the great Toby Keith.
Yeah.
And I know he was an avid golfer and a very good friend of you. So I had Roger Clemens on recently too, and he mentioned how he was close with Toby Keith and his family as well.
Yeah, Toby is dearly missed, and he was our Lifetime Achievement Award recipient 2 years ago. We've done tons of stuff with his corral that he created in Oklahoma, and we still continue to help out there whenever the need is there. His singing speaks for itself, but his real life person was amazing. His wife Trish and his family and the kids were amazing. And I just feel very fortunate to have been a friend of his, and he is definitely missed.
Yeah. And curious as well, one last person who was a part of the American Century Championship, like you, and former teammate of yours, Tim Wakefield. I know he was an avid golfer as well, won the Clemente Award. So, what was your relationship like through the years?
Wake and I had an amazing relationship, especially while we were teammates together with the Red Sox while I was there. And yes, another gentleman that was a part of our trio that we'd always go to lunch was
Mm,
Jim Corsi, who we lost to cancer as well. I my heart really hurts for the Wakefield kids because shortly after Wake passed away, his wife passed away of cancer as well. So within an 8-month period of time, he they lost both of their parents. So it's cancer sucks, and it really hits home on a regular basis with us, with how many people that we come in contact with on a daily basis, not a regular basis, on a daily basis. So we're always sending out our thoughts and prayers to different families and trying to help as much as possible.
yeah. And one of my final questions here, just have a few questions left. When you broke into baseball compared to where you are today, where were you maybe as a person, as a man, when you can think back on as a rookie to maybe the end of your career to who are you today? Do you ever reflect like that and see how far you've come or how you've grown as a person?
Well, we'll be putting out a book
Hmm.
next year, so an autobiography on myself from where I was at even younger than professional baseball
Hmm.
to where I'm at now, and it's been an amazing journey. I've learned a lot about life. I've learned a lot about myself. I've come to terms with some of the stuff that I had addiction with, and I'm in a great place now. So I feel very fortunate. And Kandace has helped me through a lot of this. So a lot of the credit goes towards her and her helping me. But when I was younger, yeah, I was just a little kid in the candy store. And, where I'm at now, I feel very fortunate to have been a professional baseball player and have that platform to spread the word of what we're doing with SabesWings. So truly feel that God put me on this planet to have that little bit of a stardom to help out with all of the people that we're helping that are going through cancer. So the platform has been very special. And I feel very fortunate to have played professional baseball. But what I am doing now is truly amazing in God's work.
Awesome. Since we did mention on Toby Keith and your great relationship, I know he performed at the golf tournament as well. So I was wondering, do you have anyone this year or anyone that you admire that's going to be playing some songs?
We have two singer-songwriters that are coming in for the event this year, thanks to Tully Kennedy, who is on our celebrity advisory team, and it's Neil Thrasher and Joe Lovelace. They're both singer-songwriters, and both put out multiple number one hits for people like Brad Paisley and a few others. But did a podcast with them not too long ago, and really looking forward to meeting them in person and talking to them a little bit more, but also seeing them perform some of their songs that they've done up.
Awesome. And then last question here. I always like to ask people when I have them on, since we are talking a little music too. Who was your first concert, or maybe like a really memorable one that really sticks with you?
Well, a memorable one would be one that I didn't really want to go to at 12 years old. My aunt at the time was in charge of the house seats for Universal Amphitheater. That's back when Universal used to be an open amphitheater, not closed. And what the house seats mean is she was in charge of making sure each and every performer that came in there had seats for their friends and family that they needed, and that. So every once in a while there would happen to be some extra seats, and my aunt would call her sister, my mom, and say, "Hey, we've got some extra tickets tonight." And it would be a spur of the moment thing. It wouldn't be like, okay, months in advance we could plan this. But there was one day that mom, after school, mom said, "We're going to see Frank Sinatra tonight," and I was like, "Oh, Mom, Frank Sinatra." Oh, and she drugged me to the show. So we get there, and sure enough, we're down, in the in the orchestra area, and you have Barbara Streisand coming in, Bing Crosby coming in. You have all these famous, amazing people coming in to enjoy his music that night. But the one thing that I really loved, there was one person that I really geeked out about that walked in, and it was Vince Scully.
Oh, wow.
So Vince Scully showed up, and that's when I tugged on mom, is like, "Hey, mom, Vince Scully's here." So I thought it was pretty cool. Nowadays, I listen to a lot of Frank and appreciate Frank. So I feel very fortunate that mom dragged me to see Frank Sinatra. It was very cool.
Wow, that's a great story. Well, Bret, thanks for the great story. Thanks for coming on, and looking forward to seeing you next month.
Thanks, Ryan. Look forward to seeing you as well, buddy.